sacrifices, sometimes we think like, what do I have to do that's life changing to get closer? But we can start with the smallest ones. I think today you guys jumping onto a call to be curious and learn about somebody else as opposed to being somewhere else, that's already a small sacrifice.
Yeah.
I think you will be demanded more. And like Abra said, it's going to be relationships, eventually girlfriends. That's a big one. Because it takes a lot of energy, and it's against like the human that as guys we want to have a girlfriend and want to be appreciated by another individual, and just being on track with where you want to go. The last thing I'll say with regards to this is detaching from that big picture of a big sacrifice. I think I enjoy listening to Kobe Bryant. All of you know Kobe Bryant, right? Yeah. And he said, like, how can I incorporate into my schedule something that will give me a competitive advantage 10 years from now? And everybody's doing double sessions. And for him, it was like, how can I do maybe 4 sessions a day? And he structured his day in that if I wake up at 4:30, I get 2 more sessions than anybody else that's doing 2 sessions a day. So how can you, in a healthy manner, how can I sleep 7 hours and incorporate more sessions in my day? Whether it's, if you work out once, maybe I work out twice. If I juggle once, maybe I do some other soccer stuff, maybe read, but something that you sacrifice something for a greater dream of yours. And I think just that initially will change the trajectory of where you get, and you start to create an advantage over the people around you. So I agree with you, Abra. This is just, it's almost not one sacrifice, it's a journey of sacrifices that you take along.
It's a lifestyle you incorporate, and once you start making it, it's not even something you're choosing, it's just a way of being, it's not even a choice. Like, you're not even thinking of going into a group of people who are into going out or into drinking or into smoking. It doesn't interest you at all. You're interested in people who want to become better, who are pushing you to be better. And it's also rewarding in some way. So when all comes together, it's not, you don't feel it as a sacrifice. Of course, you maybe not, you didn't experience a summer party like all the other kids, but you experienced so much more in different ways of developing yourself as a player, as a person, and somebody who's striving to achieve something great. And I think that makes you much more richer inside than any party can make you.
So you're saying a sacrifice turns into a lifestyle?
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. And in your notes, I mean, that's something I would break it down, because a lifestyle doesn't happen overnight. I think you can break it down into practice. It turns into a habit, like Abra was saying, and then it turns into a lifestyle. And it has to.
I wouldn't even call it a sacrifice. I would call it investment. Investment in yourself and in your career, because you know what's important for you and you know what you want to achieve. Sacrifice, to me, maybe it's not like to everybody, but to me, sacrifice have kind of negative connotation, saying like you give something away from yourself that you miss. But for me,
it's an investment.
I see how you can describe it as sacrifice, but for me, it was an investment. I loved it. I wanted to give everything that I had for it. And of course it was hard. Of course it hurted, but like
that's so good, Abra. And
you know why?
And this is why anytime I had a difficult decision to make, I would come to him, because beyond the soccer matters, like just the idea of changing the word sacrifice to investment gives you a whole new world to look at. And an investment is something you gain from, and a sacrifice, it's related, like Abra was saying, something more negative. So if you can also sacrifice versus investment, I think that's a big one, and that's a really good
you're
one.
investing yourself. Now you're sitting here and investing yourself, because I don't know what I'm gonna say, but I might say something that's gonna change your perspective, that's gonna help you to do the extra lap, to do that extra something for you, that's gonna make you a better player, a better person, and enrich your life in some way. So it's all investments.
That's so good. That's so good, Gato. We could go on this question for the rest of the chat, but we'll move on. The next one is, so in your personal life, it could be soccer or it could be anything. What was the happiest, up until today, what has been the happiest moment? I think for Sterling, it was although he did all of these great achievements in soccer, for him it was getting his mom the house. That's what I get from the text, the way he worded it. And for us, perhaps it may be soccer or something other than soccer. But Abra, what's the happiest moment in your life up until today? Because I'm sure there's going to be more.
Yeah, up till now, it really it's not cheesy, or like, I'm not saying this because you guys saw my video, but that entire season and topped off with that goal in the last 2 minutes. Honestly, I cannot imagine a moment in my life where I felt that much joy in my heart, or like after the game. I like, it's undescribable with words. And just the idea of the journey we went through the entire season, it was like a dream. The entire season, every game was like a dream. Every moment was like a dream. The chemistry we had as a team, it's unrepeatable, I think. And I'll hold it in my heart until I'm old and gray and I can't remember anymore.
That's so good. Actually, I have it here, and I don't know if some of you didn't get to see the highlights, but I'll just show that specific video that he's talking about. I think obviously we could look at the talent, but I want you guys to focus on everything that's going on around the fans. I want you to focus on if Abra couldn't have done it by himself, but I mean the technique that he has to do that. The girls' women's soccer team had a game right after that, and they were waiting for us to get off the field. And I want you to look at them celebrating. I want you to look at us just running to Abra. And that moment in itself, whether you do it at Wembley or whether you do it pickup game, that feeling with people that you enjoy the game with, it goes beyond. So I'm just going to play that for you guys, and then we'll go on to the next question. So let me just try to share the screen. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Boys. Actually, hold on. Good? Yeah. Good. Give me thumbs up if you can see the screen. Good. Most of you. All right. So if you look at the score, it was 1-1. Did we start losing that game or?
Yeah, we started losing. I think he scored a PK for a tie.
Yeah. I remember. So yeah, it was 1-0.
For this free kick, I came to Jakov and told him, look, the guy's cheating. Shoot it in his corner. It's a goal 100%. Just make it to his corner.
I love that, because even I didn't know about this. Like, this is extra stuff that adds. So this is Yakov, and then at some point Abra had told him he's cheating, or he's gonna tell him, and then this is the girls team waiting for us, and then I'll just play for you guys. Oh, and there's 2 minutes left. And so here in America, I mean, as you guys probably know, you play double overtime if you're tied. And then it's golden goal. So whoever scores the goal in overtime wins. If nobody scores, then there's no winner. But here, I'll just play for you.
It's Basic. He's not have a goal yet this season. The sophomore with the left foot. Off the top post and out. Oh, you heard the crowd. You see Basic, hands on his head. A beautiful bend of the ball. Riverhawks need to recover, get back to it. There's the bicycle kick, it's in! And that's your ball game. Abramović, Ivan Abramović, he had the assist last night. And he caps it off with the goal here. What a weekend.
Wow. I still get the chills when I watch that, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. Another fun story, that like I was under that pile of people and I almost died because I had no air, and Wilito saved me because he saw me choking, and he turned me over because I was laying flat, and he turned me on my side.
He knew that you were struggling?
Yeah, he saw me. I was trying to catch breath and I couldn't. Almost died. It was, and for me that moment, like it was. For me, it was I felt like it was the most important moment of that season, because we were struggling in that game. We couldn't find the rhythm of playing like we did later in the season.
Yep.
And that moment kind of break it off completely. After that, I felt like going onto the field as a player. I felt like there's no way we're losing to anybody. You know, it was like all the forces of the world are behind us, and we're just sliding, you know, and surfing that wave. It was crazy.
That's so good. That's so true. So and Wilito, if you guys don't remember, he was the player that was on last week. But yeah, no, that's all good. Good to hear how human we really are, and I think we see it as like a bicycle kick. It's a superhero event, and then these moments do turn you into give you a different skin, because we started to feel that we were untouchable because of moments like this, and I think it's just part of the game, part of being united, and knowing that together we're going to get through it. If we just always from that moment on, hey, give the ball to Abra, he's going to win it for us. Perhaps it wouldn't have been that way, but Abra also felt that I got to use everybody around me. So it's always good, man, to relive that moment. I have that saved, and whenever I just need a flashback of special moments, I put that one on. So yeah,
that did the one against Brown. Remember when you assisted me after that slide tackle?
Yeah. I remember that.
It's like really close to there.
Yeah, I remember that as well. Yeah, we were tied 1-1, and I think we were losing, no? We were losing 1-0.
We were losing also. It was 1-1, and then like 85th minute, and then you assisted it.
Yeah, I think that season I had to play wing back. So raise your hand if you're wing back.
Yeah. Wing back.
And I genuinely hate being put in that position, and I played there the entire time. So like I feel some of you guys' pain when I put you there. And then one of the midfielders got injured. I don't remember. Was it Yakov? Might have been Yakov.
Yeah.
They got hurt, so they like, oh, Carlos has played midfield, put him there, and then that happened, and then you score the winner again with like 4 minutes left. So yeah, that was another good one. All right. We could go all day long with just one of these, Gato. All right, we'll go on to the next one. What is one thing you'd like people to know? So, living through these moments of being the protagonist, and for example, being the guy who scores the bike, being the guy who comes on Sports Center, and changing basically the history of the soccer program at a university. Sometimes we lose our real identity. We're only seen as the guy who scored the bike, the guy who changed this as a soccer player. And I think Sterling was talking about the fact that people started talking bad because he bought his mom a house, and he had this image of he had no humility, and now he was very tied to the money. So I think sports in a way doesn't help us show the human in us. So is there anything that you would like people around you or people who have seen you as a soccer player to know that perhaps was lost in that image of a soccer player? If you could
almost everything outside of the field and the game, because especially here in Europe, soccer players have an image of rich stupid kids, basically, you know, who don't know nothing but shoot the ball. And also in general, I since you sacrifice so much, invest so much in soccer, you're kind of lacking on all the other aspects of your life, which is a beauty in states that you're not, since it's the system who supports the school. But in general, I feel like people cannot see that psychology side of me. Like, of course, not the teammates who I talk to all the time, but people who see you outside of like from the stands, for example. They see just a soccer player who is doing well, and they think, oh, this guy thinks this and that or whatever, make quick judgments. But you kind of feel that the entire person you are that's doing that on the field is lost. Because you're only valued on your skills, which is kind of ironic. Ironically, it's ironic because you're wanting that. You want them to see you as a great soccer player, but then again you feel like, look, dude, I'm so much more than just a soccer player, and that kind of gets lost because they all see, oh, this is a hero, he's a soccer player. They don't care who you are as a person when you're alone and when you talk to your friends or whatever. So that's for me, that's one of the things, you know, you want to achieve that image, but then it kind of hurts to be seen only as that.
That's good. That's good. And I think we, from your story, I think we can kind of start to think about how you use the tool of communication at one point to be brave and tell your family that this is what I want to do. But some of us, like yourself, are so talented that, like you're saying, ironically, you start to lose the identity of the human that you are. And I think we got to be very intentional of being aware of that in moments like perhaps when you score this bike or when we win, being able to communicate to the people around you, at least the closest one, your friends, your family, your siblings, that I'm so grateful that you guys did this for me, but please don't forget that soccer doesn't define me. Please remember me for the Abra that sits and has meals with you at home. Please remember me for the Abra that he used to give me haircuts at some point. And remember me also for the haircuts that I gave you, as opposed to just the bike, because it would start to lose his identity. And in that moment, it's easy for him to continue to live off of that because it's in the moment. But one day, even Messi is not going to be a soccer player anymore. And how do we continue to have value in ourselves beyond being inside a soccer field? So I think using that tool of communication and surrounding yourself by people who are good mentors and wise enough to detach you from your talents and the human, I think is so good. And I'll never forget all the conversations we had when you were giving me haircuts, or when we were riding in the car together. We joke about it, but we had to wake up at 6. We had to be in the gym by I think 6:45. So I would pick Abra up in the morning, and I remember when there was a song that would always go on, and I remember that song, every time that song goes on, I remember the investment. Let me change my language. The investments we would make at 6 a.m. together, and that, I think, without removing that bicycle kick in that moment, that also brings a lot of value to who Abra is and who all the people I've been with. So I really appreciate that perspective, Abra, to being able to detach from, especially when we're really talented.
Another thing I would mention to everybody who's listening right now, if I can say one thing that you have to write down, what I said today, is find the passion outside soccer. Find something that's really important to you and that you find joy in doing, because you cannot let this beautiful game that we love so much consume you, because if it does, it's going to lose that beauty and love that you have right now. So it's really important to have identity outside soccer and not have just that soccer identity, and building yourself around soccer identity, because like Carlos said, even Messi is not going to be Messi one day, and he's not dying when he's 35, when he stops being this professional athlete, and you cannot live in the past. You only have the moment. So you have to be someone, and you are someone outside of soccer. So start working on something that you love outside soccer.
That's good. That's good.
Something that I would suggest.
Especially like you guys are at your age, you're almost the face of the boys side, because you're the top level team within FC Stars by being the ECNL boys, and it can get distracting in the fact that because I'm so good, this is what I want to be identified by. My Instagram pictures are going to be with my uniform, are going to be on my game, are going to be videos of when I meg somebody. Intentionally start to post things that have nothing to do with that, and it'll help you redefine yourself as a human post soccer. That was so good, and I'm gonna test you guys, and I say this every time, but there's gonna be a few things that we will go over for all the conversations. So make sure you're always looking over your notes. And this takes us just to the last one, and I'm sure we've hit on it a bunch of times throughout this conversation, Abra. But if you could give your 13-year-old self an advice today, or a couple. I mean, you guys have your pencils and notebooks, so you're ready to go off. What would you tell your 15-year-old self, Abra?
Yeah,
13 year old. Sorry.
we already kind of talked to that about that when we had our talk. Like, not connected to this, we didn't even know we're gonna do this meeting, but we kind of brought it together. That kind of idea of telling yourself that like, we all kind of believe somewhere deep in ourselves that soccer is life. And when I say it's not, like, part of me doesn't believe me, but if I had one goal for everybody who I'm going to try to learn how to make it in soccer and how to be a better person and a player, I'm going to try to build the idea of soccer not being everything. Because let me tell you this, like, that's what I'm saying to my 13-year-old or 15-year-old self. Like, if I could imagine a life if there was no leagues, no clubs, no nothing, and there's only a soccer game. Like, it's only a game. Would you set a goal to be like the best? No, you would play it and enjoy it. You would enjoy the game no matter how, like, maybe you would try to get better, but there wouldn't be a goal being a professional player, and you wouldn't feel unhappy or happy if you made it. It would just be about the game and enjoying the game. So what I would tell myself, dude, soccer is not life. It's a game you have to enjoy and love and not depend on at all, because life is so much more than soccer. There's so many more joys you can experience and love, maybe even as much as soccer. And it's great that soccer for us is like a fire that's kind of giving us energy to do so much stuff in our lives. But like I already said, we cannot allow it to consume us. It has to be out of joy and out of love. So
that's good.
Lower the importance of soccer to a level where it's only something you enjoy. You're trying to get better every day, but you don't depend on that result. So completely remove result out of it. I know it sucks. It sucks to lose. I know it sucks to be so close to winning the championship and then losing it. I know it hurts. I've been there, and Carlos can tell you he saw the game. Like, he saw the game when we lost in overtimes at our own field. It sucks, but that's life giving a lesson. Soccer is not life. Life is life without soccer.
Yeah.
So the idea is to enjoy soccer, to love it, to play it with all your heart, and to know to lose, to know to win. And that's it. Like, it sounds simple, but it's so hard because you want it so much. You want it so much, and I know how much it can consume you. And we talked, Carlos and I talked and called it, it can even become a monster inside of you that doesn't let you enjoy everything else in life outside of soccer. Because if soccer is not good, and if you're not doing well in soccer, everything else sucks. But that's not the way to go. And if I can, and if I can put it in each one of your hearts to love soccer, but not depend on it, and not put it as your sole way of happiness, sole purpose in life, I would be so happy if I can do that. Because as much soccer is beautiful, and as much as I love it, I really know it's not life. Life is life without soccer, and soccer is just something that enriches life, and you should treat it that way.
That's so good, Gato. And
I don't know if that's too much to pass, but
that's good. You're expressing us what exactly a stage of everybody's life that we're gonna hit. So you almost gave us a journey of, like, at the beginning, how we focus. We should look to focus at an early stage and allow that fire to dictate our decisions. But then ending with like the future you, and it's almost like you guys can see yourself today, and today you're making this decision. Forget school, I want to do soccer. But
exactly, thank you.
And if you can go ahead, and I tell you guys all the time, the players on the field, and this is more of a tactical view, when you live in the future, you are in control of the game. So if you and picture tactics right now, when we do the third man, when we get the ball to the second man, it's to get the third man open, and with everybody being focused on that decoy or that thing that's happening in the middle, but we know what the future is going to hold. That's what gets us to the ball to that player that's open. So in that same concept today, we think of what we are today, but we got to think that the third man is going to be us one day, not as soccer players. And how do we dictate everything in between today to what that third man of each and one of us is going to look like, who's not going to be a professional soccer player, even if at some point before that you are a professional soccer player. So I think it's such a good timeline and picture of this entire conversation. And I think, like you said, Abra, soccer isn't life can be life without soccer. We can live without soccer. And I think you should be aware that soccer doesn't define you, and that you define soccer. You're in control of soccer. Don't let it become into a monster that you can't control. And I know it's tough because, like Cabra said, at this age, it's very difficult for us to not see it the other way around. But always, when you feel that you're either stressing out too much or you're incredibly joyful, which is good, but you also got to balance that. Know that that moment doesn't define you. That bicycle kick is not going to define Abra forever. And I think that would allow you to enjoy your journey in your soccer season. By season, I mean the longer term, but still hold value in the individual that you are today. Boys, like today it was almost like if I was part of the training ground. I learned along with you guys. This was exceptional. There's stuff here, I say this almost every session, but things that we went over today is stuff that we will never touch on a soccer field with the ball. And today, some of this material ironically gets you closer to becoming a professional soccer player, whether you do or not. But above that,
it brings them even closer, being happy individuals, no matter what the situation is. And that's the goal, because life throws you curveballs all the time. And it's only how you take them. You cannot like you can't control what's happening, but you can always control how you feel and how you decide to think about things. And if you make it something outside of yourself defining your happiness, you're never going to be happy, because there's always something else. But when you decide that you're going to be happy no matter what, no matter you lose or win, no matter you succeed in soccer or not, no matter what is happening in your life, it's a choice to be happy. And that's something like I wanted to connect, like you connected. It's not about quitting school, and it's okay to make investments, but it's not making it so important that you throw away your entire life and then being unhappy or like bitter or something didn't work out. No, you should live your life, enjoy it, and invest your time the best way possible for you, and not make it about the investment, but make it about you. Make it about you being happy. That's the goal. It's not the goal to succeed in soccer, because soccer, it's only until 35, 40, I don't know.
Yeah. The player stage, at least.
The player stage, exactly.
The player stage is temporary. And today we got closer to maybe becoming a professional, but we definitely got closer to what we're gonna be able to be after the player stage. And I think if you're wherever you're invested, whether you're FC Stars or with Carlos or anybody else, if you are conscious of I'm constantly becoming better at who I'm gonna be after even my player career, I think you're encountering every training session the right way. Boys, I really appreciate you guys. I don't think we've had a session that's less than 20 players. You guys are showing us your investment in your own life, whether it's through the game or through the readings or how we relate things. Abra, again, it's a privilege to always hear from you, to see you, man, to hear your wisdom. And I wish you all a lot of health. Abra, hopefully I get to see you soon. We'll definitely stay in touch. And yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you for coming.
Thank you guys for your time. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
And good luck with everything.
Thank you. Abra.
Yeah,
all right, boys.
Thank you.
Take care. I'll see you guys Friday morning.
Thank you.
Don't give me that face, Liam.
Thanks.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Coach, I don't know who I follow on Instagram that I saw this from, but I remember seeing this like super good photo of when Abramović took off his shirt, and and you were like right next to him, and I think you had like your hand on him, and you were like screaming.
Yeah.
Such a good photo.
That's a photo from the bicycle.
Yeah.
So
I saw
yeah,
that.
yeah, it was a good. I posted that the other day, like on a story.
Oh yeah, that's where I.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, his profile.
Oh, it's his profile. There you go. Yeah. Hey, Luke, so this week we're doing Friday at 2.
Okay, got it.
All right, I'll send you the link.
Okay, thank you, Coach.
All right, take care, Luke. I guess we could just stay in this link. I mean, well, we're supposed to meet at 5. Do you need to go for 30 minutes? I can't hit your mute. Hold on. Go ahead.
I gotta just make a dinner and then I'm coming.
Cool. I'll do
in
the
the
same.
kitchen now.
I'll do the same.
Yeah.
All right, I'll see you in a
That's
bit.
all. Yeah.